Hi, Rúben. First of all, are you able to provide an update on the severity of Joshua Zirkzee's injury?
Joshua is out for the season, so he's not going to play more this season. Let's prepare him to the next one.
How's he doing mentally? That must be a huge...
It's tough. It's tough, especially in this moment. I think he's improving in all aspects of the game, so it's hard for any player to stop. But it's football, and he has to be ready now to recover.
There's been a lot of talk about the goalkeepers in the last week. Will you be able to confirm who's starting?
Onana will play tomorrow.
Just on the other players that are absent, do you expect Matthijs de Ligt to be back before the end of the season, or is he likely to be out for the season?
No, Mata is going to return still this season. Aidan is out for this game. He had a small issue in the same spot during training, contact with a teammate. Johnny Evans is returning to the training, but is not available for this game, and some other players that we have to manage the minutes.
We saw Ahmad doing some ball work. I mean, do you expect him to play this month, or would it be probably in May?
Yeah, this month I think is not ready for this month, but we hope to have Ahmad still this season.
Thank you. She's my phone.
Sorry.
Just in terms of André, what do you have to think about before you make a decision? Because it's clearly a big decision.
No, I just think, first of all, as a coach and also as a former player, I'll try to do things that can help a player in this situation. So sometimes we talk about managing players physically. We have to manage them also mentally. But then they have to return to competition, and Onana is ready. He had one weekend that I felt that was better for him to not play, and a good thing for Altay to play. And this week, my thinking was to put Onana to play.
Harry, we know how big this competition now is for Manchester United. What is your view of United being in this situation where you're in the bottom half of the table and this competition is the only thing that can save it from being a disastrous season?
No, obviously it's been a disappointing season. There's no doubt about it. From the start of the season, we've been far too inconsistent. I think the performances have picked up of late. However, I still think there's key aspects in a game where us players have got to take more responsibility and got to change them in our favour. There's been a lot of games that have been 50-50 and we've ended up on the bad end of a result, and that's something that we do need to work on as a team, as a group of players. But of course, yeah, tomorrow night is an important night for us in the competition. A big game, Old Trafford, European night, and one that we're looking forward to.
Harry, what does it mean to a player at United to actually finish the season with a trophy? How important is it that you actually have something tangible to show at the end of the season?
Yeah, of course, it's so important. There's no doubt about it that if we do win the Europa League, it's still going to be a disappointing season for us players. But winning that would be a big bonus. Playing for this club demands trophies. And winning the Europa League would be a special trophy to win. Of course, it gives us access to the Champions League next season, something that we obviously can't gain through the Premier League because our results haven't been good enough. So, no, it's important that we win trophies at this club. Every competition that we play in, we've got to try and win. And this is the only competition that we're left in. So, of course, tomorrow night's a big game for us. We know that, and it's one that we're looking forward to.
Rúben, a lot's been made of what it means in the short term, but also in the long term. Already mid-April, are you thinking of next season, whether you qualify for Champions League or whether you don't? Do you have a plan A and a plan B?
I think it's more about the budget. I think that is important when you are planning the next season. Champions League can change everything, but you can see it in both ways. So if you have Champions League, you have to. It's going to be tough to play against top teams on Wednesday and then top teams in Premier League. We are in the moment that you can feel it, that the team needs a lot of work. A lot of work means a lot of time to train. So you can see it both ways. If you don't have Champions League, we want Champions League. We want to win the title. Is the most important thing. the best thing. But if you don't have Champions League, you can think that you will have full weeks to rebuild the team and to have more time to work. So that is important when we are going to make the plan for the next season. Is really important. It will change everything.
Rúben, what is the process when it comes to you picking your goalkeeper? Do you just pick yourself, or do you consult Joshua Zirkzee and the other coaches as well?
Yeah, of course. The staff is there. Is not just to be there. Of course, I have conversations, and then I have my feeling as a coach, as a former player. Then I'm trying to imagine the game, because they have, of course, they are defending a goal, but they have different characteristics. So I make the evaluation the same way that I make for the other players. Of course, the other players, the way we want to play is more with me. Of course, I have a conversation with the staff, but of course, Craig and Vital has a huge impact in my decision.
Dave. Hi, Rúben. Just back on André. Is there a danger that taking the decision you did for the Newcastle game, does that not put him under even more pressure and more scrutiny when he comes back tomorrow night?
Yeah, that is the
dilemma.
Not just the dilemma, but this is the big factor on being a coach. Everything you do has two ways, and you can, if he's going to be really good tomorrow, I'm sure of that. But if it's the other way, people will say that it was a bad decision. So we never know. I'm trying to be clear on things and try to make the evaluation be really simple, not overthinking. And when I imagine the game and I see André Onana, he had 1 weekend that he rest. Now he's ready to return to the competition, and I chose André to start this game.
And just on the Europa League, you obviously want to win the tournament. But is this team and squad good enough to play in the Champions League next season, given you're going to finish in the bottom half of the Premier League?
If you look at this moment, I think we are not ready to cope, to be really competitive in Premier League and to cope with Champions League. I think it's really clear, and you have to be really clear. But then you play in one club, you should fight for this competition, you should be on Champions League. If you have Champions League, you know that you have a different budget to try to put a better team for the next season. But this team with new players will need time to work. So I think it's something that we'll discover next year, hopefully.
Rúben, do you need a new goalkeeper this summer, or are you happy with the goalkeepers you have here?
No, I think we need to improve. So we cannot look to the team of Manchester United and say we are in this position in the league. We have been really underperforming this season, and you cannot change all the players. What we should do is to improve any position on the team with the players that we have and try to bring different characteristics for the next year.
So very politely, can you answer my question? Do you need a new goalkeeper if you're going to?
Yeah, I know you want one question, but you choose the questions, I choose the answer. My answer is that we need to improve every position on the field. Goalkeeper is the same. We can work with André. If the team performs, if our team scores more goal and is more danger on the forwards and the strikers, we will defend better. Onana will defend better. André Onana already proved that he is a top player in Inter. So he has a pass. Altay, the same thing in Fenerbahce. Sometimes you have some seasons that we are underperforming. If we are going if any player is underperforming, you have to change everything. That is not the process that we need now.
I respect that, but he consistently has made mistakes for Manchester United.
Yeah, but again...
So it's not just one season. So again, you're a coach. You're saying there's a possibility maybe you might get a new keeper in the summer?
No, what I'm saying, we are going to make that evaluation for any position in the squad. And if we are talking about mistakes, you can see my record. My record is the worst one in our team. So I'm also underperforming, and I think I'm the right guy to coach the team. So I think the same for André.
Hi, Noah, Ziggo Sport Netherlands. Question to the coach. Can you give us an update on Matthijs de Ligt? And do you think that he will return before the end of the season?
Yeah, he's going to return until the end of the season. He has some pain. He finished the game against Nottingham, so sometimes it's something that we need to be sure that he's in the right moment to return to competition. He's working really, really hard, and he's a tough guy, so we expect to have Mata in the next weeks.
A question for Harry, please, if I may. What's it like as defender to play in front of Andre? And also, when there are issues with saves or whatever, is it a kind of robust conversation that you have with him? You've been a captain of this club, or is it more of an arm around the shoulder?
No, I think first and foremost, Andre has proved in his past that he's an excellent goalkeeper. He's proved it at Inter. He's won numerous trophies, played in Champions League finals. And during a career, you always have spells where you go ups and downs, and you find yourself a little bit out of form. And it's about how you build yourself back in and find that confidence to perform again. I think at the moment he's probably feeling that everything's going against him. But you take game by game, and I'm sure he's going to be there tomorrow night. He's a big personality, a big character, and he'll be looking forward to the game. He'll want to show everyone again what he's about. And playing in front of Andre, it's great. I have confidence in Andre. Like I said, he's had a fantastic career. He's got great experience, and we all know he's an excellent goalkeeper.
Chris. Just on Andre again, Rúben, you said that you've talked to your coaching staff about him. Have you spoken to him personally, and did you need that conversation to be convinced that he can come back and perform on Thursday night?
That's when I made that decision in the last week, and I talked before that decision. I talked with André, and that is important for me to explain the player, for him to understand what I'm thinking. And then sometimes the player is saying one thing, and I understand that it's a different thing. Sometimes it's my feeling as a coach that can make my decision more than what they are saying to me, because sometimes they want to feel to show like they are really confident, and I feel it in the other way. So I'm giving just an example. So it's I have the conversation, but then it's my decision in the end.
But having spoken to him, you are convinced and quite happy that he's good to go on Thursday night?
Yeah. I have that feeling, for sure. If not, I just thinking about the team. The team is the most important thing. I'm not putting André because I think André deserves to return to competition. I'm just thinking about the game. Is really important for us.
Last question, Rob.
For Harry, please, if I can. Obviously, all the questions are about Andre. The spotlight is on him. You've had situations at this club where it's been you with the questions and the spotlight on you. Can I ask what that's like, and how do you deal with that at this club?
Try your best to ignore it all. Focus on your job. Come in on a daily basis and do your best. I always said to myself, that's only what you can do. Tomorrow night is another game of football, and you go on that pitch and you give absolute everything. And when you walk off, you say to yourself, I've left everything out there, and no matter how you perform, that's only what you can do. And it's same for any player who wears this badge. It comes with a responsibility to perform. And when you don't perform, and when the league results aren't good enough, there's people who obviously do come under the spotlight. I've been in that situation myself. But like I said, only what you can do is day in, day out, do your best, work as hard as possible, and take each game as it comes.
Manchester United manager Rúben Amorim has confirmed a major blow for the Red Devils, as striker Joshua Zirkzee will miss the remainder of the season with a hamstring injury. The Dutch forward, who had begun to show promising form in recent weeks, was forced off during United's crushing 4-1 defeat to Newcastle at St James Park. Zirkzee appeared to be in significant discomfort and was visibly distraught as he was helped off the pitch by medical staff. Scans later revealed the severity of the hamstring damage, with Amorim officially ruling him out for the rest of the campaign. "It's devastating news," Amorim said during a pre-match press conference. "Josh has been an important part of the squad and he's worked incredibly hard. We'll support him through his recovery and look forward to having him back stronger." In a significant team selection update, Amorim also announced that André Onana will return to the starting lineup for United's Europa League quarter-final second leg tie against Lyon. The Cameroonian keeper was dropped for the Newcastle game after a disastrous showing in the first leg against the French side, where his mistakes directly led to goals and increased pressure on United heading into the second leg. In his place, Altay Bayindir was handed a rare start, but his performance failed to inspire confidence as United shipped 4 goals. "Onana will be back," Amorim stated. "He's trained well, and I believe he's ready to respond. We need his experience and presence for such a crucial game." With Zirkzee out, attacking options become more limited at a time when United can't afford to stumble. Amorim's side, already sitting a lowly 14 in the Premier League, must overturn the damage done in the first leg against Lyon if they hope to salvage their European campaign. The pressure is on for both Amorim and his players. Fan frustration continues to mount, and questions are being raised about leadership, consistency, and United's long-term direction. With the spotlight firmly on Old Trafford this Thursday, one thing is certain: Manchester United cannot afford another collapse.